Hello, Sam. You are up next.
Hey Bart, how's it going?
How's it going, Sam? Where are you playing out of?
This is at Lucky Chances in San Francisco.
Lucky Chances. And Sam, you submitted this hand via the Fastroll app, right?
Yeah.
So can the Fastroll app, developed by two guys in the CLP community, if you submit to the call-in show through the Fastroll app, you will get priority. I know Sam's a CLP or was a CLP web subscriber at one time anyways, but through the Fastroll app, and of course the Fastroll app is the best app that I have actually seen where you're playing live and you want to write down your hands, maybe not in the iPhone Notes app. You can use the Fastroll app. It's really easy to put in, and all your hands are saved, and you develop a database. You go back, review the hands, share them with other people, and now there's a link to submit to the call-in show. What is the level here that you're playing at?
It's a 3-5 game, but there's a rock under the gun. 1500 cap.
And how deep are you?
I was 3800. The villain in this hand against me was 3500.
All right, so 3,500 effective, 3-5 plus 10 rock. And of course, the rock means that it is a straddle from whoever won the previous hand straddles, and then it goes in order, right?
Yep.
Okay, start us off here.
Yeah, so he limped from pretty early. I'm also early. I can't remember the position. I'm just
Okay.
reading the email I sent you. I opened to 50 with King of Diamonds, King of Spades.
So EP Limper hero, I'm just going to put like +1 to 50 with King of Diamonds, King of Spades. So where is the rock? Is it in the natural straddle spot?
Yeah, it is in the natural
Okay.
straddle spot.
So it's actually a UTG straddle. Okay. So EP Limps hero +1, 50 with King of Diamonds, King of Spades. Okay.
Yeah, so let's say he's +1, I'm +2. I King of Diamonds, King of Spades. I raise to 50. The low jack, who's a fish, calls.
Okay.
Actually, the limper, the villain in this hand, who's the first limper, he moved over just because of the low jack.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So the low jack fish call, the hijack calls, the cutoff calls, the small blind calls. We go 6 ways to a flop.
Wow. 6 ways. Good old live poker.
Yep.
$300.
Yep. Beautiful.
And it's mixed stacks. The other guys are like mixed stacks.
Low jack has about like 500 or 600. Hijack has about 600.
Okay.
Cutoff has about 800. The small bond has about 1,000.
So you and the limper, though, are the ones that are really deep.
Yeah, we cover everybody. Yep.
All right. So $300. Okay.
The flop came 8 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 7 of clubs.
8 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 7 of clubs. Now, you say the primary, so 8-7-7 rainbow. You say the primary guy who's deep with you limps. How often do you see upfront limping in this game? Is that strange? Like, is this guy loose passive or what?
Okay, so this is where I saw him play. He was not limping a lot. He was basically going for fish at the table. I saw one hand where he played against the fish, the low jack in this hand, where he opened flop top pair on a king high board. He has king queen, and then he bets into about 2 or 3 people. The low jack raises, so the fish raises him on the flop. He just calls, and then he turned 2 pair on the turn. He checked and let the low jack bets. He just called, and then on the river he donks about like 200 and 250. So he donks with value.
And he had limped with king queen that hand.
No, that hand he opened.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure out like what is a limp here. What does this mean? Because old school limps would be someone's got a small pair. Limping from up front now is kind of the only times that I'm going to do it is like if it's just, I don't know, some sort. It's hard to say though, because now a lot of these micro live games are so heavily raked. You don't want to enter like a lot of limp pots, like maybe in a Texas game or something like that where it's super passive and you've got deuce or 3-3 from early position and you raise, you're going to get 7 calls. So it's not really a value raise, but if you limp, it just starts a cascade of limps. I mean, I'm just going off the top of my head here. And then sometimes, I suppose you could pull in like you can establish like a limp raise range with some bluffs and some value. But all right, so 6 ways, $300. You've got king, and it's 8-7-7. I mean, your hand doesn't need. I'm going to assume that it gets checked to you. Does it get checked?
No.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing about the guy, he wasn't playing loose, so I'm not expecting him to lose like limp like ace 5 off.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's Like based on what I saw, based on what I think, it's probably like small pair or like some kind of a suited ace. So it's not like a wide range, but it doesn't matter. We have kings, so we're isolating anyways.
So what happens on the flop?
The flop, the small blind checks. Now the limper donks for $40.
Okay. So the small blind first to act checks, and then the +1 donks for $40.
Yes, like very small.
So you've got the low jack, the hijack, and the cutoff. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So you've got the low jack, the hijack, and the cutoff behind you. What would you have done if it just got checked to you?
I would have just bet
What kind of sizing would you have used?
small because it's 5-6 ways.
Like 125 or something, or like 100?
Yeah, or maybe even smaller, like 75, 100.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that is because I was about to say I was assuming it was going to get checked to you, and I was going to say, some of the time you might actually check. Your hand doesn't need a ton of protection. See what's going on. In live poker, I kind of like to default to like a small bet. And then sometimes when you see these mini bets, I just treat them like kind of like checks. The weird thing here is that obviously it's possible that someone has a 7. If you raise this multi-way, it just seems like it's just really, really hard to get called unless
It's an overplay.
unless these people are just like super, super, fish. You know what I mean? Like if you were heads up, I could see raising even here more often. Multi-way, it's just one of these things where it's a little bit odd. And then sometimes you level yourself because if you call, it might allow somebody to kind of like bluff behind you. But a lot of these guys just play their hands kind of straight. I guess I would probably just call here.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I just called, and I figured if they have a 7, they're probably they're either gonna raise here or raise the turn. It would be easy for me to get away from it. So I just called, and now the low jack calls, and everybody else fold.
So low jack calls, all fold. Again, I'm going to throw out a hypothetical to you here, Sam. What if you call and then somebody behind, like the low jack, like makes it like 250? I assume, here's the thing, like it's weird. Like if you call and the low jack makes it 250 and then the limper calls,
Oh, then I'm mucking.
guess you just fold. If the low jack makes it 250 and then the other guy folds, I guess you just sort of have to continue, but it puts you kind of in a weird spot. But anyways, all right. So 40, 80, 120, pot's 420, right?
Yeah, or 435.
All right, 435. Okay.
Okay, now the turn is a great card, a king of clubs.
Wow. By the way, too, so when +1, so obviously Sam now turns top boat. When +1 donks out here like this for small, and again, he limped from up front. It's just kind of weird. I suppose he can have a 7 here if he fast plays like some things. Sometimes people go for check raises in spots like this, but it's weird. Like, what else could this be? Like, you would think he would raise like 10s and jacks I don't know, like 9-10 suited, or it's just kind of weird. Some people will fast play trips in this spot, but it is a little bit interesting. Now, obviously now if the king, let's say the turn's a deuce and the guy checks to you, I assume you're probably going to bet, right?
If he checks to me
On a turn deuce.
And the low jack call, yes, I will bet using a small sizing.
Yeah. All right. So the turn's the king. It's 8 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 7 of clubs, turns the king of clubs. Okay.
Yep. And he donks once again for 100 into 435.
So +1 donks for 100. I got to be honest with you here now. Now, a lot of people, as a gut reaction, they look at that. Well, you can look at this sort of as a beginner or an advanced type of play. Beginner would be like, oh my God, I've got kings full. There's no reason for me to raise. I don't want to scare anybody away. By the way, how deep did you say the low jack was?
The low jack was short.
Okay.
That's why I didn't raise, because he's a fishy guy.
How deep was he? Do you remember to start the hand?
The low jack started the hand with about like 600, like less than 100 BB.
Here's my thought. So that's the beginner thought, is why would I raise? Right? Why would I raise and scare somebody off? The advanced thought of why would I raise here would be like, I'm not raising any other hand. I want to stay balanced. Here's my thought. Once this guy has donked here on 877 and he's donking a king turn and you have a guy behind you, there's a fair chance that someone's got a 7 here, and they're never folding if you raise. By the way, this guy who donks 100 here and you're deep with him, like, I think I'm raising here. And you hope that he has you hope he has a 7. I mean, I guess you could say, you could make a case, well, I can call and then raise the river. But I feel like I can get more money in by just raising the turn and then betting huge at the end.
Yeah, in hindsight, I should have done that because I looked over to the low jack and he's short. I just won't let him in if he has a draw.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I make this like 400, 500, something like that. I mean, I don't know what this guy is donkly. Here's another thing too. I don't know if this guy has a limp re-raising range, but there is one thing that I washed over that sometimes you'll see get played. Actually, no, that's not true because he didn't limp re-raise you. I was going to say sometimes like a guy might not get a limp if it was a limped pot, a guy might show up with an overpair here, but you raised to his left pre, he would have limp re-raised with a big, so he doesn't have any big pairs. So when he leads turn here, like what is this, 9-10? Like, a hand like 9-10, you'd be like, well, I'll just call. You don't necessarily always get the bluff at the end, and I just kind of want a cooler a 7 here. Or God forbid if you had something like pocket 8s, but I would almost never expect something like that to be fast played off so fast, but I'd almost want a cooler hand here. So I think I would raise at this depth. And it is hard, I would say, to balance this for sure. Like when you look at this, it's like, what are you raising with besides like 8-8 or like king or a7? Like you'd have to find some sort of hand that you called the flop with and then raise the turn. I mean, I suppose you could have like 9-10 of clubs here or jack 9 of clubs or something like that you didn't raise the flop, and then it's just very strange. What did you do? So he donks for 100. Okay.
Yeah, I just called and then the low jack fold.
So hero calls and then the low jack folds.
Yeah.
So now the pot's 635.
Yeah, river, it's a 9 of clubs.
So the river's the 9 of clubs. So that's interesting. All right. So it's 8 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 7 of clubs. The turn's the king of clubs, the river's the 9 of clubs, which brings in a backdoor club draw. Now I was going to say sometimes +1 on the flop might have had a hand like 9-9 that didn't limp re-raise, but I don't think those hands continue to. I suppose once in a while, do those hands continue to donk turn when a king comes with 2 people in there? But the backdoor clubs here have come in. So another hand maybe that's played this way would be like 8x of clubs. It's 8 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 7 of clubs. So if he donked with like ace 8 of clubs and then just turned the club draw and then continued to donk, and then continue and then made it. I'm thinking about like big hands that he might have here. First of all, what did he do at the end?
Now he even sizes up. He bets 400.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right.
So this is when my alarm bells are on, whereas you had the alarm bell on the turn, I had my alarm bell on the river.
So going back to before we figure out what you did here, going back to what I was saying here, he donked 40, donked 100 on turn, and now he bets 400 on the river. So 8x of clubs, like I said, might be a hand that makes sense here, like ace 8 of clubs, something like that. And I guess I was talking about 7x. I wonder if 7x, like ace 7 of diamonds, gets a little scared when the backdoor comes in. What other thicker types of hands could he have here? Again, I don't think 9-9 probably plays it this way. And then I would just be shocked if he had like pocket 8s and he played it so fast. Could he have 8-7? Which would have been, there's one combo of 8-7 here. So he bets 400 into, by the way, you have the nuts here, but unless he's got quad 7s, the effective nuts. He's got quad 7s, he's going to get my money. I'll tap the table. But so he bets 400. So if you were to call, the pot's 1435, and then I'm just saying right then and there, and then you've got 5, 6. So he starts you're starting the river with like over 3,000, right? Like 33 or something of his stack, of the effective stacks.
Yeah, he well, after he bets, he probably
Right.
has. He started
28, 29 back. Yeah. 28, 29 back. I mean, I'm going to make a fucking chunky raise here. I'm going to make a chunky raise because, again, it looks like he either backed into 8x of clubs. But, again, I don't know how big this game is because if you do something crazy like move all in and he just happens to have a 7 or he backed into clubs and he loses to boats, I wonder if you might lose him. I think I would. So when he bets 400, he's probably got 5, 6, probably 29 back. So I might make it. So you could move all in for 3,300. I might make it like 2,400 here.
okay. Yeah, that's the hindsight that I had. I would have made it 2,000. So at the river, I figure he has a hand because he donked multi-way on the flop. He keeps betting into me, and then he size up on the river. I figure at the minimum he has a 7 or some kind of a flush. I was hoping he had a boat.
Johnny Andretti. So somebody in the live chat, John Andretti says 2,400. I still think gets fold from flushes here. That's what I don't want to fold, John. You're right. The flush, because it does make sense. The 8x of clubs, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. If you go to 2,400, the pot will be 34 and it's 2,000 for him to call. I don't know, man. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff though when somebody backs into I mean, maybe you can make a case for making it 2,000, but I kind of peaked at 2,400. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
I figure he had a value hand. I think he can't
Duh.
fold.
Of course he's got a value hand.
I just shoved all in.
You moved all in.
Yeah.
So Hero moves all in for basically, 3,300 total. Wow, 3,300 total. Wow, that's a fucking crazy. I mean, I don't want the guy to fold backdoor club. So then also too, like if he has a 7, that's pretty wild here too. The interesting thing here is that when you look at like what you could bluff here with, it usually when you look at a spot like this, you'd be like, oh, ace king with the ace of clubs, something like that. I actually don't think if you peeled the flop because it was such a small bet, when it gets this extreme, I actually don't think you want the ace of clubs. You would actually want ace king without the ace of clubs. You want the guy to have the ace of clubs because you think that that's what he's going to fold, right? Like ace 8 of clubs.
Yeah, and after I reveal the hand, I will give a little bit of my thought of what should we bluff with. He tanked for a good 5 minutes. He turned over pocket 8s, and he tried to get a read out of me. Obviously, I was just...
He turned over pocket 8s?
Yeah.
I mean, he turned it over like he hasn't done anything yet.
No, he turned it over, trying to show me, trying to give me trying to get a read. I wasn't giving him anything. He went back and went through the hand. Basically, he says limp. I raise. He bets into 6 ways. He bets again. He bets the river. Now I jam. He tanked for a good 5-6 minutes, and he folded.
He folded? Wow. Oh my. So he's got 8-8. Here's the thing about your opponent. If I'm in your opponent's spot here. Oh man, that must be a bad feeling, Sam, for you. Here's the thing about what I would be thinking about. Now I know like in live poker, like a spot like this is super underbluffed, but it's not even necessary. I mean, if I think you're a winning player, you're capable. I have played the hand so non-standard with 8s full here by like leading flop and continuing to bet turn that I might just call down here because like, no, you would never, ever think that I have 8s full. I mean, I know you're like, can have kings, right? There are 3 combos of kings. I assume, let me ask you this question. So if you have 9-9 here, right? Obviously it's the same play on the flop, right? Now the guy calls behind you that you said the low jack splashy. So when he bets 100 on the turn, I think you still call, right? The hand doesn't make a ton of sense. Do you still call 9-9 on the turn?
No, I fold.
Really, for 100 into 435?
Yeah, because the hand that I want him to have is 9-10, and I'm blocking it. I would call with jacks and queens, I guess.
I guess, but I mean, the reason why I bring that up is because that's another hand, right? Like if you've got nines here, nines are the equivalent to king from your perspective, right? Because we know that the guy doesn't have king because he didn't limp raise your pre, right? So if you get to the river with nines, you can just treat it like king. So that's another hand that he loses to.
Yeah, that's what he says, the fourth nuts.
And he turned it over, so no, the floor wasn't called or anything. Did you show him?
No, I didn't show. I did not show him. I gave him nothing. After he folded, I did not show my hand. Nothing.
I mean, some would say that is an awfully exploitable fold there, obviously by 8-8. But again, I think we go back to the turn. Like everybody always says, I always talk about, it's like an older school thought. It's kind of similar. I talk about how sometimes when you flop the nut flush on a monotone board, one of the best ways to get money in, like really, really a lot of money against the second best hand, is actually to fast play the flop. Because what people will tend to do when they flop the nut flush is they will slow play, they will call, and then they'll wake up on a later street, whether it's turn or river. Let's say the guy flopped a nut flush in position, and let's say somebody else has got like the king high flush. When that nut flush wakes up on a later street, like a river raise, the response from the second nut flush is just call. Okay? So the reason why I bring that in is because like on the turn, you're just like, when you just go call, and then like lay the hammer down, it looks like what you have. But if you just raise on the turn, you end up getting more money. And I wonder what he would have done, even if he just goes into a call shell here, like he donks for 100, you raise to like 400 and he calls and the pot's 1200. And then the river's an offsuit 9. And then you bet like 800 or 1,000. I mean, I would have thought that he had 7x here, but it would have been interesting if you raised turn and he calls, because he still is left with some 8x of clubs. Wow, that's wild. Did people think he was nuts at the table?
So, I don't know. They just go, wow, he folded that. So I guess now I'll give my 2 cents on if he's folding that means he's only calling with sevens. We could just bluff him using the sizing with everything.
That's why I said ace king, no club. Ace king, no ace clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, I've regretted not raising the turn.
I mean, that would be really interesting if you had ace king. Because you have to call the flop. Say you had ace king with some backdoor, and now on the turn you just decide to call. Now on the river, when the backdoor club comes in, and he bets 400, and you're like, all right, I actually don't think I have the best hand here. This guy's got a 7, or he backed it into ace 8 of clubs, and then you just pile
Rip it.
with ace king. That would be something.
Same thing with jacks and queens, right?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if you have like the king blocker or not, right? It makes no difference. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he's folding that, man.
Yeah, wow. Thanks for the call, Sam. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Alrighty. Wow, that's amazing. That might be the biggest fold in the history of the call-in show.